Mavs for...
I have an injury update on Jason Richardson. At the end of the first quarter, he bruised his left thigh. I believe we have the play. Yeah, he bruised his left thigh in this collision with Jason Terry. Went limping out of the game. He actually asked Alvin Gentry to come out of the game. During the break, they stretched it out, and I'm told by the trainers that he is good to go back in, but he's still trying to work through the bruise over there on the bench. Mike?
All right, Lisa. We mentioned Lisa on her Twitter earlier. You can actually Twitter her during the game. Now, either you guys have a problem. She's supposed to be working for us, and now she's twitting on the side. This is like a Charlie Villanueva, Scott Skiles thing.
She's got more focus than Charlie Villanueva.
I'll say. She's a multitasker. Terry on the drive. The runner puts it up and in. Terry looking sharp early. He's 5 of 6 from the field off the bench.
You know what, Charlie Villanueva, just to go back to that, Mike, got a lot of criticism for doing that, and I agreed with it initially, and his response was, what's the difference between that and a halftime interview? It's all like media driven. So I'm not sure. I mean, I still don't like it, but I'm not sure it's that bad.
Terry inside, blocked by Lopez. For those who weren't aware of that, Villanueva during halftime of a Milwaukee Bucks game did his twitting, and Scott Skiles, the head coach, was very upset with it. Joe, you guys all have to start adjusting. I like the way you're changing.
Man, hold on. Let me tell you something. I'm not even going to go for the 52 fake out here by JVG, the notorious JVG. It's not going to happen. I played for this guy. Imagine if at halftime I tweeted or twitted or whatever you want to call it, and then tried to give him the same excuse saying it's no different.
I could have had a little problem with that, but I would say this is that I thought Skiles, his perception of it was right. You don't want to give the indication to your fans that you're anything but focused on the game. Whether it's really that bad or not, it's all about the perception.
There's no question about that. As Phoenix has cut it to 1, Barbosa 12 points off the bench in just 9 minutes of play. And we have a screen as they're coming down the floor.
See,
Barbosa
that's a flagrant foul. That's a flagrant foul right there. Jason Terry had the intent to run into Leandro Barbosa because he felt he was fouled at the other end. To me, when you do that, that's at least a technical foul.
Just called a personal right now. Let's take a look. Kind of throws a little forearm at him.
That's a flagrant. I totally agree. Went out of his way to get to the body of Barbosa. That's not a basketball play, so I think that's a no-brainer.
Right. Well, definition flagrant unnecessary, and that certainly fits that description. It wasn't a huge shove, but
it's unnecessary. It's
exactly.
Unnecessary.
That's right. 4 minutes gone by here in the second. Barbosa's played superb ball off the bench here this afternoon. On the drive against Bass, blocked, and gets the rebound. Nice defensive plays from Brandon Bass. Terry's been hot. Dudley trying to smother him. Pokes it away. Terry gets it back. Barea drives to the basket inside. Won't get it to go. Lopez had it, lost it. Singleton comes up with it. A lot of role players making their presence felt with hustle plays.
Well, that last defensive trip by Bass, that'll get you more minutes on the floor.
Singleton hammered by Amundsen. They're going to call it in the act of shooting. And Richardson apparently is okay, as Lisa reported, so he's going to come back into the game.
I like what the bench of Phoenix has done. They have played with energy, they have played hard, and they have still scored at a good rate. This young grouping, I thought, had a very good stretch.
And Singleton now to the line. Singleton, a young man born in Chicago, played his college ball at Murray State. Well, wasn't drafted out of college, played 4 years of college. Took him 2 years to get to the NBA. He did win a championship last year, but he won it in Spain. And now played a couple of years out of Italy. And now in his first year with Dallas. Briefly played with the Clippers. And he's been part of the rotation. Some nights he's done a real nice job for Rick Carlisle.
That reminds me, we had a team meeting going into Game 7 against Dallas a few years back, and I already knew the answer to the question, so I asked the team, has anybody ever won a 7th game in their history? And our little used reserve, Torrey Bragg, raised his hand. I said, when? He goes, in Russia last year. I said, are you kidding me? That does not count. In Russia?
Pass deflected by Kidd. Shot clock at 2. Dudley's going to have to hoist it up. Blocked by Terry. And a 24-second violation. And there's where sometimes you wish they wouldn't call it, because that negated an easy hoop for Dallas.
That could be an easy adjustment to a rule to see if the defending team gains possession. It's like play on in soccer. It's a very good rule in soccer. When there's a little foul, you know anything about soccer, but there's a play on rule? Mark Jackson, not an international man.
We didn't have soccer in my neighborhood growing up.
Here's Bass. Just over 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Kidd lines up the 3 and knocks it down. They're shooting so well from downtown. 6 of 9, the Mavericks, and this is not a good three-point shooting team. 28th in the NBA in percentage. And Dallas up by 6. Amundsen to Lopez. Too high, too strong. Here comes Barea. One man to beat. It's Nash. Lays it in. And this equals the largest lead of the game. And a delay of game warning call against Dallas.
And it's interesting. Alvin Gentry's hurrying his starters back into the game. I'd be hurrying my bench back into the game, because the starters have shown little resistance since these guys have started to come back into the game. There has not been nearly the effort.
Dudley and Amundsen battling, but they come away empty. Barea back out Singleton. Kidd the ball fake, but he travels. And the Mavericks bench not happy with the call. Jason Kidd, by the way, he's got 8 assists. If Kidd gets 5 more assists here this afternoon, he ties Magic Johnson for 3rd all-time on the NBA's career assist list. A reminder, a new ABC series that takes you to one of the most dangerous places on earth, New York City's 2nd precinct. For these cops, it's never business as usual. The Unusual series premiere Wednesday at 10, 9 Central, right after a new loss. Hill misses. Singleton the rebound, and he's fouled. Dudley doesn't like the call. So Kidd on the verge of passing the great Magic Johnson. After he passes Magic, next up, MJ, Mark Jackson.
You can't say MJ except for one person in this world, Michael Jordan.
Sorry.
That's not true. Magic Johnson, Michael Jackson, are you kidding me? But Jason Kidd is the man of the hour, and if this game goes to overtime, I may be number 3 at the end of the game. At some point, play some defense.
He has about 200 before he has to pass you. You got some time to relax. Or will be inducted. How about other guys on the list? We'll go back to it, guys. As Josh Howard misfires, rebound goes to Nash. There's some other guys on that list. Anybody in particular you think should definitely be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think the whole next 4 should be Don Nelson, Al Attles, Chris Mullin, and Bernard King, to me, are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame.
And I totally agree. Absolutely. When you look at the body of work of all of those guys, especially my guy, Chris Mullin, a guy I played college basketball with and then played in the league for a minute with, outstanding career. I certainly believe that those next 4 should be in.
Well, a key thing to remember on the Basketball Hall of Fame is it's not just the NBA, it's what you do in your entire career, as we have a foul on the entry pass. It's what you do in college. Mullin, one of the great college players. He also won a couple of gold medals. It's what you do in the international stage. You see some of the international names at the bottom. So it's your entire career, and Mullin did it at every possible level.
And don't let me forget Dennis Johnson.
Absolutely.
MVP of the finals, championship after championship, outstanding career. He has to be in.
You make a case for so many of them. Bobby Hurley, has there ever been a better high school coach? What he did at St. Anthony's in Jersey City, New Jersey?
And I'll tell you what, I think it points up the fact that I believe, just like the NFL, the NBA, out on a beautiful pass by O'Neal, the NBA needs its own Hall of Fame and its own induction ceremony, so everyone's judged similarly by what they do in the NBA. I think it's what makes the NFL Hall of Fame so special.
And college has their own Hall of Fame. Singleton knocks down a 3. Mavericks shooting the lights out. 8 of 11 from downtown. They're up by a dozen.
And I'm going to say this. Of those lists, I'm taking Al Attles in a fight anytime against any one of those Hall of Famers. He's my Hall of Fame bully. No, that guy he's the nicest man, but if you put him in a brawl, I'm picking him.
There's been some guys over the years that you won't find tougher on the court, yet off the court they're these just big teddy bears who are just so kind. Al's one of them. Another guy like that was Wes Unseld. He was mean on the court. You won't find a nicer man off the court.
Hey, Al Attles did something for my junior college coach, Bud Presley. He brought him in to be his defensive guy in training camp when they won the championship in 1973. And as my junior college coach got on in years and got very sick, right before he died, he brought him back and he gave him a championship ring. He had a whole luncheon set aside for him. I mean, that's the type of class that you were talking about. I mean, he didn't have to do that 20 years later. It just amazed me that he even remembered, let alone followed through and did it.
Well, that's Hall of Fame class right there.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, those are the kind of things when you do away from the spotlight that nobody you expect to find out about. That's when you tell the character of somebody.
Well, and you're right. And he didn't try to do it for for some press. There was no press clippings. There was nothing for that. That was just a man trying to help someone else remain and feel important about his contribution.
Meanwhile, Dallas up by 14, Phoenix starting to unravel a bit here late in the second. Grant Hill nearly lost it. He's tripled. Hill spots up for three. Nash the rebound, tipped away by Terry. Here's the extra pass. Richardson. No, Phoenix going to a drop. Richardson the steal, goes at Singleton. Blocked, but a foul. Richardson mad at himself for missing that wide open three when he can redeem a bit at the line.
Good job of getting back and staying active. Jason Richardson does a good job getting the steal and then drawing the contact.
Mavericks, meanwhile, they're a team, as we said, 28th in the NBA, third to last in three-point percentage. They're under 35%, but they are 8 for 11 here in the first half. Nowitzki having another good game against Phoenix. He's torched them a couple of times, but they haven't needed him here in this stretch.
It's amazing. He's sat the whole second quarter, and they've widened their lead.
Phoenix, meanwhile, have missed 9 of their last 10 from the field. 13-point advantage. Kid trying to thread the needle. Finally manages to get to Terry. Shot clock at 6. Kidd dumps it inside. Oh, strong finish from Bass. Beautiful feed. That's 11 assists now from Kidd. He's too shy of tying magic. And a foul on the entry pass. Nope, 3-second violation called against Shaq.
Brandon Bass has done an outstanding job giving minutes on both ends of the floor, finishing on the offensive end, and the one guy really battling Shaquille O'Neal in the paint defensively.
And I like this substitution by Alvin Gentry. Richardson's not right. Get him out, get a healthier, liver, more energetic body in the game.
That shot won't count before the